Sadiq, congratulations. Just spell out for us what this award means for you.
Well, I'm incredibly proud and feel privileged to have won this award. When I think of all the other politicians and MPs being considered, it's a huge source of pride to me. What it's about is serving your community, serving your constituents. It's great to be re-elected, and to receive an award is the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and this one was, well, you got votes behind the award. You're there by popular acclaim, which means something more, I guess, doesn't it?
Well, one of the things you try and do when you're a politician is to make sure that you don't forget who elected you in the first place, why you've got that job. And this is a recognition, I hope, of all the people over the last few years that I've managed to help, whether it's to get a new home, whether it's to get a place in a school, whether it's help with their immigration status, whether it's help raise an issue they feel passionately about in Parliament. I'm incredibly grateful and I feel humbled.
Yeah, just a word about Patchwork, the Patchwork Foundation. You were working with some patchworkers. Now, I know they took a lot away from that experience, but you have been saying you took something away yourself. Just tell me about that.
Oh, it's great. Listen, one of the things about being a politician working in the place behind me in Parliament is you can get blasé about why you're there. And you can get a bit sanguine about what it's all about. You meet these youngsters. Many of them came from the same background as me. They live on a council estate. Their parents may be in low-paid work. English may not be their first language. They've never met a politician, let alone a member of Parliament. And the hunger, the energy, the enthusiasm. And the great thing is, they ask questions you've been thinking of asking yourself, but thought they were too dumb to ask. And you think, yeah, why do we do things that way? Why have we always done it that way? Why don't we change the way we work? But they're great, the energy, the ideas, the enthusiasm. And I always leave meeting them, leave working with them inspired and uplifted. And I commend Patchwork to anybody who's thinking about getting involved in politics.
You hear from politicians in all the main parties and beyond the main parties how the work that Patchwork does, crossing party lines, shows that reaching out to communities which are not necessarily in great numbers engaged in politics, sometimes with some people it's a little easier than people imagine.
Yeah, look, not all of us have got uncles or aunties who are MPs, not all of us went to the right schools, but actually it's a lot easier than you think. And the great thing about Patchwork is they work with all political parties, Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem, Greens, SNP, everyone. And so whatever your political politics may well be, there could be a role for you in shaping the policies of the party you believe in, shaping the policies of government, of a council, of the next mayor of London, dare I say it.
In your assessment, how close are we to a true patchwork Britain, as comfortable with itself as one would like?
When you go to the boardrooms of the FTSE 100, when you go to journalism, judges in courts, the cabinet, shadow cabinet, Parliament behind me, we're still not where we need to be as a country. And the great thing about Patchwork is they give a helping hand to those from deprived backgrounds, those who are ethnic minorities, women, those from backgrounds where you don't see people from that background being in positions of power and influence. And that helping hand is crucial. And they give you the confidence, they empower you, they open doors. And what I'm excited about most of all is the networks they're creating. Just imagine in 10 years' time, the alumni of the Patchwork from 2015, and it's really exciting.
I mean, one can't know, but how long do you guess before we get to that point?
I'm excited and I'm optimistic. I think actually some of the doors they're banging on, some of the contacts they're making already, I see Patchwork alumni working with politicians, helping shape my policy, help shaping my vision of things. Their optimism is important, but also the challenges. You know, when you speak to a Patchwork person, they tell you about the difficulties finding a place to rent. The difficulties with a good degree getting a decent job. The challenges they have leaving their home where they live with their mum and dad to find a place of their own. Those sorts of issues need to be raised with politicians, and we need to be hearing from them. Look, my generation, we're lucky. We own our own home. We've done pretty well. We've had our potential fulfilled. But what about the next generation? And that's why Patchwork are so important.
And what about the importance of these issues and these communities in the coming race to be the next mayor of London?
Well, I'm going for what I think is the best job in politics, being the mayor of London. London gave my family and me the chance to fulfil our potential. Son of immigrants, son of a bus driver, raised on a council estate, went to local state schools, starting to be the mayor of London. I want your ideas, I want your organisational skills. You may not vote for me next May, but I want to hear from you. What do you want to see from the mayor of London? How can we ensure you have your potential fulfilled?
There are going to be more runners in this coming race than simply you for Labour and the Conservative candidate, Zach Goldsmith. But the question of the migration issue in London, which is a melting pot, a cultural and racial melting pot, it will be handled in this race unlike it is handled in so many others. What's your view?
Well, the job if you're the candidate to be mayor and if you want to be the mayor of London is to be the advocate and the fighter for London. Immigration's brought huge economic, social and cultural benefits to our fantastic city. We need a mayor who's going to be pro-immigration, who's going to be pro the European Union, pro-business, arguing for people who do a hard day's work to get a decent day's pay, arguing to make sure we get genuinely affordable homes in London. I'm not asking you to vote for me next May, not yet. I'm asking you to get involved in the process, get involved in the election, and hopefully by getting involved in the process and the election, you'll make the right choice next May and vote for me.
And just finally, from the point of view of the Patchwork agenda, it is encouraging, isn't it, that the interest and enthusiasm that we've seen in the award ceremony today, that exists at all.
And what I think is wonderful is who else could bring together Nick Clegg, Tim Farron, Ed Miliband, people in the cabinet, the SNP leader in Parliament, the leader of the Greens. It's wonderful to see. Only Patchwork could do that, and I commend them for that.